Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the Critic who is a cynic. Hope you are doing well. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. And I first want to start off by giving a huge shout out to Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers. He did a video earlier today where he shouted me out. He shouted out the conversation that I've been having with Jon Kasdan on Twitter. And so I want to thank Jeremy for that, and also to thank him for once again offering me the opportunity to join him tonight on his live stream on Geeks and Gamers. So if you are interested in that, please at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, go check out the channel Geeks and Gamers. Go check it out anyway because there's some awesome content on there. But also if you want to see the conversation that we're going to have, we're probably going to talk a lot about this back and forth that I've been having with Jon Kasdan and what that means for the possible future of Star Wars, and you know how relevant this actually is to everything that's been going on, everything that we've been talking about for the past several months especially. And so it should be a really good conversation, and I'm so looking forward to it. So again, I want to say a huge thank you to Jeremy once again. But today there are so many things that I can talk about. I mean, obviously if you don't know at this point, me and Jon Kasdan have had a very long conversation on Twitter on a variety of topics, mostly talking about Solo, mostly talking about how we have a very strong disagreement on the actual numbers, and I'm going to talk about what he claims in the video that I talked with in the live stream tonight when I talked with Jeremy. But the one thing I wanted to talk about was this comment in particular from Jon Kasdan. So again, if you want to see more about this conversation, if you want to have the full context, which I highly recommend you do. Again, I don't ever want you just to pick one thing out and just to focus on that. I want you to understand the full context, because if we don't do that, then we're no better than the people that we're criticizing. Because the people that we criticize, they'll pick one thing. They'll pick a title of a video, just like they did this with Jeremy. They picked the title of the video and they just lambasted him, they attacked him when they actually didn't look at the content itself. And you see that this happens a lot. And I don't ever want us to become that. I don't ever want the Fandom Menace to become that. I want us to try and stay, obviously I'm the person who I try and stay civil. Now obviously I can get snarky at times. I can definitely, if you saw my video yesterday, you know I can be very sarcastic at times as well. But at the same time, I do think that there is a better way for us to engage and a better way for us to have dialogue, especially when someone like Jon Kasdan is seemingly offering some sort of olive branch, is seemingly trying to become, or rather trying to be, a lot more straightforward, or at least a lot more I guess more gracious in receiving criticism and talking things out. Obviously, I still disagree with him on a lot of things because I think that he has a lot of his facts wrong, but I still respect him for reaching out to me and for engaging in a conversation for this long. He could have just left it at one comment, but he's gone back and forth. We've probably sent like 50 plus tweets back and forth to each other in this conversation. So if you want to have the full context, go check out my Twitter at Odin's Movie Blog, and you can see it for yourself. And you can, if you want to add into the conversation, Jonathan seems like a pretty straightforward person, so he might respond to you. But I can tell you right now, if you just curse him out or just put something on there that's just really not constructive to a conversation, he probably won't respond to you, or he'll probably respond in kind with snark as well. So yeah, check that out if you want. But this comment in particular really had me bothered from Jon Kasdan. So this is him saying, You don't see how the way you use the term SJW as a derogatory term might be construed as condescending in a similar way. And just to provide you context, it's because that he claimed in my video that I attacked him and his father, which is so far from what the actual truth is. I criticized what Jon Kasdan said about pansexuality. He is the guy that introduced pansexuality into the Star Wars universe, which was just one of the dumbest things that you could do. But I still, at the same time, want to make very clear that just because I use a term such as SJW, it's very different than terms like racist and sexist and misogynist and all these other terms that have been thrown at us by people like Rian Johnson and Chuck Wendig and a lot of the other representatives of Lucasfilm. And what Jon Kasdan is here is just missing is that they're two totally different things. When you call someone an SJW, what does that mean? A social justice warrior. It means that they have these firm liberal beliefs. Again, it's not all liberals are SJWs, but if you are an SJW, you're someone who has a liberal viewpoint, and you want to force that liberal ideology on other people. You want to force other people to accept it. If they don't, then you paint them as a racist, as a sexist, as any number of these terms. And the huge difference is that if I call someone an SJW, they're the only ones that might get offended by that, and they really have no reason, because what does that mean? It just means that they're a social justice warrior. It means that that is their bread and butter. It means that is their focus. It means that that is what they want to do, and some of them might even say, I don't see what's wrong with that, and at the end of the day, that's their prerogative. Obviously, we can understand why that's a bad thing. We can understand why it's bad for someone to try and force someone else to do something else, but to say that it's equivalent to racist and sexist, which are terms that mean so much more in our society and just mean so much more just based on the actual definitions themselves, there's no way to compare the two. And so this is where I caught Jon on this, and I said, you cannot tell me that the two terms mean the same thing. You cannot tell me that SJW is the same derogatory term as a racist or a sexist. If I'm called a racist or a sexist, if someone in the media were to attack me personally and try and spin my comments as racist and sexist, that could affect my job, that could affect my livelihood, that could affect so many things. If I call you an SJW, guess what that's going to affect? Only the people who are part of this community who understand what that term means and understand that it's a bad thing to be putting into films. That's it. It's not going to have a huge impact on you in general when it comes to those kind of things, at least comparatively to racist and sexist. So to try and say that they're different or they're the same at all is just not being honest. And to me, what Jon was really trying to do here, he was being respectful, but he was also really playing it. He was playing very carefully. He was trying to stay back. He wasn't trying to curse or to be too sarcastic. He wasn't trying to be too on the nose with his criticism. He was trying to come across as being almost the victim in a lot of ways. And I know that that might not be how he perceives it, but that's how it was perceived to me, because he was the person where as soon as I said anything that was slightly more antagonistic, he immediately went into retreat. He immediately went into defense and tried to say, oh, what are you trying to say? Just like when he said, oh, well, you're the one that attacked me, and, you're a person that I never heard of before until the video that you tagged me in the other day, where you tagged me and my father, which I have no problem with. So again, he was trying to play that defensive. And I think what he was trying to do is that he was trying to bait other people, maybe even me, to say something that he could then use to justify his own point of view. Again, do I know this for a fact? I don't. But that's just how it was coming across to me, and that's what a lot of people tend to play. They tend to try to play that defensive mode. They try and play the, kill them with kindness mentality and try to get people to come out and curse them out and just throw just crazy things at them, and they try and use that to their advantage. Now, you could see that there are a lot of people that on various sides that use that, that use that component, but that's what I think he was trying to do here. And if you see that conversation, I don't buy any of the bait. I don't bite on anything that he puts out there. I come back with reasoned responses. I come back with everything that's grounded in, common sense. And that's what I always try to do on this channel. I always try and ground myself in common sense, in reality, in facts and figures. And that's what I try to bring to that conversation. I know that there are a lot of other people, especially other people on YouTube, who might not have, who might not have reacted in the same way, who might not have engaged him in the same way. But I really do think it's important, because I do feel like you really get to know that person better. And also, too, there might be a case where they all of a sudden realize, oh, this guy is not playing ball, so now let me go ahead and say something instead. Jon Kasdan didn't do that, and actually that's why I wanted to show you this last comment that he made, which is, let's see, right here. He says, likewise, hope we can talk more as two fans and lovers of Blade Runner 2049, the original trilogy, and I'm sure many more things. And who knows, maybe someday you'll even dig something I worked on. So obviously there's a little bit of a dig, but it does show that he is trying to say, hey, we have these things in common. Isn't that good? And I think that's what is really important, especially at this moment. Is the tide turning? I really do think it is, because we can look back to previous tweets from Jon Kasdan and really see how snarky he was, how push off, how kind of just condescending he was towards the fans. But now all of a sudden he's coming across in a very different light. Now, did someone talk to him? Did he just make this decision on his own? We really can't know for sure. But what we can know is that at this moment, Jon Kasdan is coming out and is trying to be very gracious, is trying to be very kind in his conversations. And at the end of the day, I would rather someone like this, who's attached to Solo and attached to the Star Wars universe, responding in this way, because I really do think that it means that we're having an effect. I think that it means that they realize just how much pull that we have, and that they have to engage the fan base in a very different way. Now, could I be wrong on this? I really could, but I do think that something is finally changing, and I'm sure that Jeremy talked about that in the video today. I have to watch this video as soon as I'm finished uploading this, and then hopefully we can go on for a little while before we go live, so that way we can just, catch up and try and figure out what we're going to do tonight. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. What do you think about this video? Do you like it? Also, what are your thoughts? Do you think Jon Kasdan is being gracious? Do you think that he's being honest, or do you think that he's just trying to play a game? Do you think he was trying to bait me at all? Please let me know in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate that. And also, guys, thank y'all so much. I looked at my subscriber count today, and I just realized I jumped like almost 100 subscribers today. So I have to, again, thanks Jeremy so much from the bottom of my heart for everything he's done for me, and all the advice that he's given me as well. He's just been so gracious and kind and supportive, and I really greatly appreciate it. And also, thank you to all my new subscribers, all the subscribers who have been here since the very beginning. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. Again, if I didn't have you, I would be nothing. If I did not have you, I would just be a guy talking to a camera, with all the content just going out into space, and no one would ever hear it. It would just be echoing and just into the vast emptiness of the internet. But because y'all are here, because y'all constantly comment, which again, I read all the comments, I try to respond to as many as I can, and I just love it. I love it. So please keep that up, guys. I appreciate y'all so much. So thank y'all so much for watching. Hit that like button if you liked it. Share it if you liked it as well. Hit that subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you tonight, about less than an hour from now, on the Geeks and Gamers channel. So thank y'all so much for watching. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.